A lot of veterans don't realize this until it's too late, but sometimes your VSO, your Veteran Service Officer, just plain sucks. And I don't say that lightly. VSOs are supposed to be the quarterbacks of your VA claim game. They're the ones who should be calling the plays, making sure the ball gets moved down the field, and ensuring you cross that goal line of getting your benefits approved. But here's the truth. Not every VSO is Tom Brady. Some are more like the rookie who doesn't even know the playbook, and you're left sitting on the sidelines wondering why your case hasn't moved an inch in months. In this video, we're going to talk about the challenges veterans face with VSOs, how to know if yours is good or bad, what to do if they don't answer your calls or emails, what alternatives exist, and whether you can actually get to 100% P&T without a VSO or paying anyone thousands of dollars to help you. Spoiler alert, the answer is yes. Let's start with the challenges. One of the biggest frustrations veterans have with their VSO is communication. You call and they don't answer. You email and it's crickets. You're sitting there refreshing your inbox like a fan, waiting for playoff tickets to drop, and still nothing. And the reality is, most VSOs are overloaded. They might have hundreds of clients, limited admin support, and outdated systems. But here's the kicker. While those are explanations, they're not excuses. Because to you, this isn't just paperwork. It's your livelihood, your health, and your family's future. Another challenge is that many VSOs just don't have the training or the drive. They're filling out forms, sure, but they're not strategizing with you. They're not digging into your medical records to connect the dots. They're not coaching you on how to write a strong personal statement or telling you which DBQs are going to matter most. They're just playing defense instead of going on offense. Now, how do you know if you have a good VSO versus one that sucks? A good VSO is like a coach who studies film before the big game. They know your history, they know the playbook, and they can explain the process in plain English. They'll take time to answer your questions. Even if it's not right away, they will follow up. They're proactive, meaning they call you before you have to chase them down. They make you feel like a teammate, not just another number. On the other hand, a bad VSO disappears after you sign the paperwork. They never return your calls. They shrug off your questions with, "Just wait and see what happens." They don't review your documents carefully. And the worst, some actually discourage you from filing certain claims because it's too much work. If that's your experience, congratulations. You've got a bad VSO. So what do you do if your VSO doesn't answer the phone or emails? First, don't take it personally. It's not that they're ignoring just you, it's that they're likely buried. But here's how you handle it. Call during different times of the day, not just the afternoon when everyone else is calling. Leave a polite but direct voicemail, clearly stating your name, claim number, and exactly what you need. Follow up with an email that says, "Just following up on my call, please confirm when you're available to discuss." If they don't respond after a week, escalate. That means either contacting their supervisor, the organization they're tied to, like DAV, VFW, American Legion, or your state VA office, or flat out switching VSOs. Think of it like being on a team. If your wide receiver drops passes week after week and doesn't even show up to practice, you bench them. You don't keep throwing them the ball. Same thing here. You're not married to your VSO, you can switch. Now, let's talk about alternatives. What if you don't want to deal with a VSO at all? The good news is you have options. You can file your claim on your own through va.gov. You can also get help from accredited agents or attorneys. But beware, most of them take a percentage of your back pay. That might be worth it if your claim is complex. But if you're organized and willing to learn, you can absolutely do it yourself. Another alternative is to work with peer networks, Facebook groups, or veteran communities where other vets share their experiences. Be careful because not all advice online is accurate, but some of these communities can point you to resources like DBQs, Nexus letters, and examples of strong personal statements. Which brings us to the million-dollar question. Is it possible to get 100% P&T without a VSO or without paying anyone? Absolutely. Veterans do it all the time. The VA system is complicated, but it's not impossible. Think of it like training for a marathon. You don't need a coach to cross the finish line. You can find a training plan, stick to it, and run your own race. Here's what it takes. Organize your medical records so you can show the progression of your conditions. Gather DBQs from your doctors. These are playmakers in your case. Write a strong personal statement that connects your daily struggles with your diagnoses. Get buddy statements if possible, because those are like extra referees backing up your story. Know the rating criteria from the VA's schedule of ratings, so you're playing with the rule book in your hand. If you do those things, you can absolutely win your claim and even get 100% P&T without a VSO. Will it take more work on your part? Yes. But remember, you're the quarterback of your own claim. A VSO can help call the plays, but at the end of the day, you're the one throwing the ball. So if your VSO sucks, here's what you need to remember. Don't get discouraged, don't sit on the bench, and don't give up the game. You have options. You can switch VSOs, escalate, or go at it solo. A bad VSO doesn't mean you can't win. It just means you have to take control of the process and play smarter. Veterans who win their claims aren't always the ones with the best coaches. They're the ones who studied the playbook, stayed persistent, and didn't let dropped balls stop them from reaching the end zone. At the end of the day, your benefits are your responsibility. Whether you work with a VSO, an attorney, or just yourself, the key is preparation, persistence, and not letting anyone, not even a bad VSO, stand between you and what you've earned. Because you didn't serve this country halfway, and you shouldn't let anyone shortchange you on the benefits you deserve. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine two veterans, let's call them Mike and James, both served about the same time, both have similar medical conditions, and both want to file for VA disability. But their stories take very different turns because of the VSOs they work with. Mike walks into his VSO's office with a thick folder of medical records, service treatment notes, and a list of symptoms. The VSO barely looks up, just slides a stack of forms across the table and says, "Fill these out, I'll submit them." Mike asks, "Do I need a buddy statement? Should I include my Nexus letter?" The VSO shrugs and says, "The VA will figure it out. Don't worry about it." Weeks turn into months. Mike calls and leaves voicemails. No response. He sends emails. Silence. When he finally gets a call back, it's from the receptionist who tells him, "Your claim is still in progress." Mike feels stuck, frustrated, and powerless. He did his part, but his VSO dropped the ball. That's what a bad VSO looks like. They don't coach, they don't communicate, and they leave you standing on the sidelines while the clock runs out. Now, let's look at James. James walks into his VSO's office with the same type of folder, but this time the VSO takes the time to sit down, flip through the documents, and say, "Okay, here's how we're going to play this. You've got a diagnosis for sleep apnea, so let's make sure we get that DBQ filled out by your doctor. You've got back pain noted in your service records, so I'm going to show you how to connect that with your current MRI results. And yes, a buddy statement will strengthen your case. So let's get one from your shipmate who remembers when you first injured yourself." This VSO doesn't just file the paperwork. They explain the strategy. They answer James's calls, even if it's a quick text saying, "I'll get back to you tomorrow." They make James feel like part of the team. Fast forward, James gets his claim approved at a higher rating than he expected because his VSO helped him line everything up properly. That's what a good VSO looks like. They coach, they guide, and they make sure you're ready to cross the goal line. So here's the takeaway. Whether your story ends up like Mike's or like James's depends on the VSO you choose and how proactive you are in your own claim. Don't let a bad VSO sideline you. Be willing to switch, be willing to take charge, and know that your benefits are too important to leave in the wrong hands. If you found this story helpful and want more tips, strategies, and straight talk about navigating VA claims, make sure to like this video, share it with another veteran who needs it, and subscribe to the channel for more content that will help you win the benefits you've earned.